Welcome to Industry Talks with the Fashion Law Institute, and I'm your host for today. I'm Rejoice, and joining me for the conversation from the left is.
Hello, my name is Grace.
Hey, I'm Ellie.
My name is Olamide.
And I am a biomi.
So, our topic for today in the Industry Talks is the effect of second-hand clothing, also known as Okrika. Okrika in Nigerian fashion economy. Yeah, so I have like a first general question, which I feel like will set the base for this conversation with like all of us, which is, how would you describe Nigeria's relationship with second-hand clothing? Do you guys get that? Is it cultural, economic, or simply practical? I'll start with Abayomi.
I think it is practically economical.
Okay.
Because of the kind of society and because of the kind of economic disadvantages that we're faced with, and because people need to wear clothes. So it is necessary for people to patronize that. And also, it is very expensive to go otherwise, to buy new clothes, to buy even Nigerian made brands.
All right.
I think that informs the Okrika economy.
Out of you, Olamide, what do you have to say about that?
Okay, so I think it's economical, like Abayomi said. I think when it comes to Okrika, a lot of persons resort to Okrika because they don't have that financial capacity to get the good ones, right? And you go for the one that you can get with your financial capacity. But I think it's slowly also graduating to becoming cultural because I think that every household in Nigeria patronizes a Okrika, whether it is expensive or not. Like it's just an ingrained thing in us. It's inherent for us to go and buy Okrika clothes. So I think it is first economical, but it has slowly graduated to being cultural.
Like, I understand that you're like half in half. What about you, Grace? What do you have to say?
Okay, so I think it is very, very economical. I think that's like the main aspect of it, right? Because a lot of times the reason why a lot of Nigerians patronize thrift clothing is because of the finances, right? Our finances. That's like the cheapest way to get like really nice outfits.
So a lot of Nigerians, although the reasons can be economical, but I think they tend to, for instance, when you want to get outfits from like a thrift store, you possibly get designers from there sometimes.
Yeah.
So when I want to get like a designer's outfit and I know, okay, I do not have the money to go to the big stores and get these things,
Yeah.
I might go to a thrift store and get one very fine outfit for myself. And I wait and I'm like, oh, people are like, oh my God, this is so beautiful and all
Yeah.
of that. But then you don't like got it from a thrift store. So like, that's like an advantage for me. So
Yeah. So you guys are like saying it's economical, like only Olamide like agree that it's becoming cultural.
well, it
And
is economical to an extent.
but I think cultural too to some extent, because just as Olamide said, everybody now like weird truth, like you cannot lie that in your entire life in Nigeria I have never won Okrika before.
But
Like,
some people beg to differ.
are you serious?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe. Okay, to dive deeper into the conversation, Eli, still on you. I want to ask you this question. Like, we know, okay, now we have established the fact that it is because of the affordability of this thrift that people actually get them. So my question is that how can local designers compete by saying, okay, no more thrift, no more thrift? What is the alternative? What can local designers actually do?
Of course, there's always something to be done by the local designers. So in Nigeria, we have Ankara, we have Adire, and we have our locally sourced fabrics.
Yeah.
So these fabrics are affordable to an extent. So I think the local designers can leverage on these fabrics and make some pieces. You can also mix it with the Western fabrics and mix it for people. And another option that I think might work is if we decide as local designers, I'm not a local designer, but if local designers decide to produce outfits in ranges. What do I mean by that? There are low income earners and there are high income earners. So when you produce an outfit or you produce a set of outfits, you put it in ranges. For low income earners, this is the range. For high income earners, this is the range. It might look like classism, but it's a way to help everybody.
Definitely. Like, it just make more sense. Like, imagine like you have a big brand and everybody wants to get that big brand, but like the money is not enough. But imagine we have a section of the, like, we can say, okay, I can actually afford this and afford that. That makes sense. Then going to Olamide, I feel like most time when this Okrika topic comes up, the first thing or what people like to think about is sustainability. Like, how is this helping our ecosystem? Do you understand? As globe, as a country, and whatever. So my question to you today is, from a sustainability perspective, is Okrika helping Nigeria by reducing textile waste, or is it just simply shifting waste from other countries to our country? Because sometimes they'll be like, sustainability now, they are done with it, we wear it, as in the lifespan of the clothes continue. But now there's a question of like, are we really keeping up with sustainability talk, or are we now turning this into actual textile waste? So what do you have to say?
Sustainability is now a big thing now that everybody's now environmentally aware. We're trying to now find out how our actions affect our environment. And Okrika stands like in the core of it because I mean a lot of times we know that Okrika means fairly used, what has been used and is being transported into our country. So a lot of times this thing they come in like very bad shape, very bad. They're in very, very bad shape. And you'd agree that a lot of time when you buy a bale of clothes, I have friends that are into cricket business, and when you buy a bale of clothes, half of the clothes is bad. Then the others is what you can actually sell, and there are even grades. You see, first grade, last grade. So a lot of times, what happens to those clothes that are bad, we tend to like throw them away. But like we also know that this and the materials that we use for certain clothes, some of them are can hardly decompose. Yes, and so in trying to like discard them, put them in our environment, and it endangers the country, like our environment really. So I would say that Africa is not sustainable in any way. It's not helping our sustainability practices, and it should really be like looked into. We should try to like find out we're going to regulate it so it's not affect our environment.
While they was speaking, Grace, you mentioned something like you agree with her, right?
Oh, yes, I do. Because when you think about it, right, a lot of times the clothes that are shipped down here to us
Yeah,
are fast fashion. And if
obviously.
there's one thing fast fashion is that it is not quality. So when you have clothes like that, they tend to spoil faster, they tend to degrade faster. So a lot of times you can't use them when it gets down here, and that is why there's so much waste,
Yeah,
right, as regards clothes. So I think it's now a general problem because I think globally, because we've changed or we've moved from producing like really quality clothes
yeah,
at affordable rates, everybody's looking at fast fashion. Brands are no more thinking of creating like quality clothes that would
yeah,
last a lifetime, like we had in our in our parents' generations and the
yeah,
generations before them, right? Now everybody's focused on the easiest thing to get out and the easiest thing to recoup profits from. And that is fast fashion. So when you have instances like that globally, right, you just have clothes being pumped into the markets that do not have
yeah.
good quality and all of that. So at the end of the day, they end up being discarded and not wearable anymore.
Sorry, my opinion is quite different from yours. I agree that Okrika can it's a contributing factor, but it is not the problem itself. I
Yeah,
think the major problem we have is the people in the country.
yeah,
Because if these products are imported and we have very good structural sustainability practices in place,
yeah,
Okrika should not be a problem because it's coming from somewhere and those people have good sustainability practices there. So I believe the people in the country are responsible for the bad sustainability practices that we have in this country. So the product is not the problem, but the people. That's my opinion.
But I think if
yeah.
it's a concern of awareness, we'd say that people are the problem, but are they aware that what they are doing is wrong?
Wrong.
Right?
Yeah,
Yes.
of
So I
course.
think that
Let's ask the only man in the room, Abayomi. Do you think that Nigerians are truly aware, just like what Olamide said, of this environmental side of fashion, or is it just affordability for them? Like the woman selling in Yaba Market or Balogun, does she know that what I'm doing is affecting Nigeria's fashion ecosystem? Does she know that this thing is not following sustainability laws and practices that we're trying to imbibe, especially in the 21st century? Like, what's your perspective? What do you think?
As Olamide said, sustainability is relatively new. It's a new idea gaining ground. So it is barely at the grassroots of this country. Some places like Lagos State have banned single-use plastics and so styrofoam, and some supermarkets do not sell or do not give waterproof bags anymore.
Yeah.
But the common man does not understand why.
The reason behind it.
Yes, some people feel it's just another way to make money. It's just another way for to get charged. But they do not understand the damage this does to the environment. By and large, the average normal Nigerian would not know anything about preserving or reusing or recycling So I think there is a huge educational gap there, and also a large policy gap, because our policies are just the closest ones we have about environmental protection. They are mostly copy and pasted from European jurisdictions, and they poorly reflects the kind of people and the kind of systems that we have or don't have, actually. So the average man does not know. They are just all about wearing clothes. Sometimes wearing fine clothes, sometimes wearing necessary clothes. They just want to wear and buy the cheapest things available. So if there is enough knowledge of the dangers that this causes, if there is enough regulation in this industry, it would help and go a long way to achieving any sustainability practice in fashion.
Apart from it getting to the local, to like the grassroots, the lack of awareness is still there, even for the manufacturers of these textiles and everything, because they make a product and they don't know how it ends. If you go to European countries, when they make a shirt, they know that, okay, this shirt will move from this to this to this, and it goes back to the earth. At the end of the day, that's sustainability, not just, you get what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
So they make these clothes and they don't really consider these other aspects of it. How is this clothes going to end? What's the life cycle of the product of the clothes here? So it's not just, okay, the people in the grassroots level, the market, the sellers and whatever. Also the people that actually produce the clothes. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So it's both ways, both for the clothes coming in and for the clothes that we make in Nigeria. Because sustainability is like a very, very, very broad topic that cuts across. So moving forward, when Abraham was talking, he mentioned something about policies, because all this is just all talk without doing. And I feel like we need to really address the issue of policy. So Grace, this is for you. What kind of policy could protect this local fashion industry, like Nigeria now? We are saying, oh, these clothes are coming, they are causing issues. What policy do you think that the government can create to like protect Nigeria fashion industry? And what is the role of fashion education in helping solving this issue?
Okay, so I'm going to come at this from two angles.
Yeah.
Right? A kind of for and against type of thing. Because while we understand the dangers of importing like a lot of this preferred clothing, Okrika, right? We also need to understand like the realities that we live in.
Yeah.
How much does like the average Nigerian earn to be able to afford like good quality clothing that is not thrifted?
Yeah.
It's it's very difficult, right? Because I mean, how much is minimum wage
Yeah.
when you think about it, right? So, and when we are making policies, we need to think of the realities.
Yeah, of course.
We cannot say, oh, okay, let's create a policy that would ban the importation of Okrika completely. Because that would leave a lot of people, a lot of people without good clothing.
Yeah.
Yes, you can say, oh, okay, I mean, if we create this policy or if this policy is put in place, then more people would lean towards like local producers, right, for
Yeah.
clothes or local manufacturers, and they would stop like the waste, they would stop like the thrifted clothing. But then again, that is just very problematic. So I think the policies that we can create or the policies that should be created
Yeah.
are ones that can kind of come in between, right?
Yeah.
Not too harsh, but then not too soft.
Yeah.
If we can say, if we can try to, let's say, increase perhaps the fees paid on thrifted clothing,
Yeah.
right? Let's say like custom fees or custom duties, right? So that you make it a bit more expensive, so that it is not the last resort. Yeah, it is not the last resort
Yeah.
for people, right? Before they can think of getting a quicker, they need to think about it. They'll be like, okay, what's the difference? Is it more expensive or is it like less expensive than the
Yeah.
locally made clothing? And also you now think of the fact that local production is not cheap.
Yeah, of course.
It is pretty, I wouldn't say expensive, but like it can be pricey. Even if you're just getting like regular Ankara material and you are sewing a two-piece outfit or even a one-piece outfit like a dress, right?
Yeah.
It is not going to be less than 5K.
Yeah.
Because how much is material? How many yards would you need? Right? But then you can get like really good quality Ankara outfits, two-piece set for less than that.
Yeah.
And you would also get like good quality product. So when we talk about policies or when we talk about making policies, we need to look at a reality. We need to look at what would be, should I say, for the greater good of Nigerians, because government cannot come and create a harsh policy. There would be a lot of a lot of
Outrage.
yes,
Yeah.
outrage, right, against this policy, because it is going to affect a ton of people. As regards fashion education, I think one thing we can also try to do
Yeah.
is to increase like the quality of locally produced clothing,
Yeah.
right? Because I acknowledge that we have cheap, like locally made clothing,
Yeah.
but then a lot of times when you think about it, these clothing are not of good quality, right?
Yeah.
They are hastily made in like really huge, yes, in like really
Yeah.
huge garment factories with no oversight, no quality controls. The materials are terrible, the stitchings are terrible. So like a lot of people do not like patronizing
Because of that reason.
exactly this
Yeah.
locally produced clothing. So I think as regards fashion education, if there's a way the government can create a policy that can oversee the quality of clothing that is put out into the markets, like there should be a base standard
Standard.
for
Yeah.
everybody to adhere to, so that we can get good quality
Clothes.
produce. Because I truly believe that if we locally produce really good quality clothes, right, a lot of people would patronize
Nice.
locally made clothing.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, even though we like the foreign designers, we like the really nice cotton looking clothing and all of that, right? When you think about it, you wear Ankara or you wear locally produced clothing a lot of times,
Yeah.
right? If we can make it such that it is easy to get this locally produced clothing, and it is of good quality, and it is affordable, right? I truly believe that would be like the first step
To
to
actually doing
actually solving this waste products that we produce that we have with
it.
Okrika.
Okay.
So
So, Alam, did you have like anything or like to add what we said, or you're good?
No, piggyback on what you said.
Yeah, because heavy on education, not just for, as I said earlier, not just for the local market woman seller, but even for the producers, for the manufacturers. What dye are you using to make this clothes? Because at the end of the day, we're talking about second-hand clothing, so we're talking about sustainability. You let this clothes into the water or something, the dye contaminates the water, the fish does not have anywhere to stay anymore, and everything just scattered.
Yeah.
So, like, it goes down, it goes deep. These manufacturers, the producers, everybody needs to sit down together to say, oh, how we solve this problem? And it's this taking these policies very seriously also improves Nigeria fashion economy,
yeah.
because when we make good clothes, we not even import these clothes to like other people, because even with the little ones that we have right now, people are like they want it. Talk less of, you now have it, like everybody having it, so it's just like makes it a whole better. So my final question to you all, I would like to say thank you. Well, I need one more question for everybody to like answer, which is, okay, so if we stop importing Okrika today, what do you think will happen to to Nigeria fashion? Or what do you think will happen to Nigeria fashion or Nigerians? Like if government now say, there's no more secondhand clothing allowed in the country, what do you think will be the effect?
Okay. In my opinion, it would be a very, I don't want to say bad thing, but I feel like it's going to affect a lot of people, because a lot of vendors are like thrift vendors, and this
Yeah.
is how they make their money. And even people that earn minimum wage. Minimum wage is like what, 7,000 naira. Some people don't end up to that. For instance, somebody selling a direct two piece and calls it maybe a marker direct two piece and says it's 250,000 naira. I earn 77K a month.
I'm not
How
buying
much
that.
of it do I need to say before I buy a 250,000 naira
That's
dress?
good.
And while I do not blame these local designers because of the economical factors that might have led to them coming
Then
up with that price,
range.
it's still a problem that we have to face. So the government, apart from this making these policies, they have to provide an alternative, because
Yeah.
you do not, for instance, if the baby grabs onto your hair and you want the baby to let it go, you put like a lollipop in the baby's hand and then it
Proverb.
lets go of this thing, because
Yeah.
now an alternative has been provided.
Yeah,
So
but
if the government wants to do anything or make policies that totally shut down thrifting in Nigeria, they have to provide an alternative that is equally affordable or a bit affordable for people that do not have the money to patronize our local designers.
yeah. Do you have anything to say about your
My fellow speakers have really hit the nail on the head. We need a lot of discussion, a lot of heads put together across board. We need to see Okrika as more than just clothing. We need to see it in the context of culture. We need to see it in the context of our society and our economy and the meaning it brings. But we need to look at the after effects
Yeah.
of being in deep in this culture. Why do they bring this amount of clothes here? What do we do with this clothing?
Yeah.
What can we do better? So there has to be a lot of conversation, learning, and relearning on this matter. It might take a while. I think we will one day do without Okrika.
Hopefully in our lifetime. But like just as you guys have said, like all through the whole conversation, it's a whole process. Lots of questions to be asked, lots to be answered, lots of things to be done because it's not just like us coming. It's not just like one person kind of stuff. It's like everybody coming together and say, okay, this is what we want. We want a better fashion ecosystem and everything to work out nice at the end of the day. You have something to say, Olamide?
I feel that would get when you say ban Okrika is outrage, like serious outrage. Everybody see it's going to be like a lot of things, for the government or whoever is making that decree to undo because I mean you're banning Okrika, where are we going to get clothes from? And it also leads us to now talking about those that sell, those that buy, then the governments together. So I feel like there should, for example, be I think as we've said, education for the people who are buying Okrika and letting them know that their actions are wrong. Not like wrong in the sense, but like are affecting us, right? But I also think that there's also the room for those who are producing it. I understand there's aspect of minimum wage, people are trying to make money, but like regulating prices so that people can also patronize. I feel I also used to think that when things are actually so cheaper, you get a lot of persons coming. It's so high, it's like your products are luxury high end and people cannot like it's not affordable for like everybody. And people run away from you or stay away from it. So I think that when it gets to the sellers, they should learn to regulate prices.
Yeah.
When I regulate the government should give those laws, then they should find a way to just ensure that these things are done because that's how you manage the outreach. And I think that everybody will adjust because Nigeria is an adjusting country. I think they are going to come for me. But Nigeria is a very adjusting country. But let's adjust the positive.
I also think that um we can all do something from a little place, right?
Yeah.
I believe offices, companies, organizations can create more days for Ankara, right?
Yeah.
Instead of having to wear like the regular outfits we have
Yeah.
here, you can create more days for Ankara for locally produced outfits and all of that for people, right? Because I believe to stop this, right? The government has its own role to play, but we as individuals also have a role to play.
Yeah,
While the
that's right.
government might be putting restrictions on like the importation of Okrika, we can do like our due diligence as citizens to also like create like the culture of wearing a locally produced outfits
Yeah.
or a locally made textiles, right? Because when you do this continuously, you'd find out that a lot of, I mean, we go to the office how many times in a week, right? 5 days in a week, and we have just 2 days to ourselves. And a lot of times when we go to church or to anywhere on Sundays or like Saturdays, a lot of times we wear our locally produced
Yes.
outfits too.
Outfit.
So if we can incorporate that, if we can incorporate that into like,
Maybe to make it
yes,
easier.
the work system, right? It will make people gradually adjust. But like Olamide said, we are a very adjusting country. Whatever is put in for, I mean, even if the government decided to completely restrict the importation of Okrika right now, we would still adjust. So
So I feel like it's a tough blow, but we have to take the blow if we want to actually like improve as a nation in our
True.
fashion economy, our fashion system. But it's been nice having you guys. Thank you, Grace. Thank you, Ele. Thank you, Olamide, and thank you, Abayomi, the only man in the room. But however, it was nice having you guys join us. Most importantly, it was a good time, and I just want to say bye.